Welcome back to Bedtime Stories with Eli, and the topic of today's bedtime story is female dating strategies on Reddit couldn't exist in a healthy dating market. That's the female dating strategies group on Reddit. One more time, female dating strategies, also known as FDS on Reddit, couldn't exist in a healthy dating market. Well, that would make sense because in a healthy dating market, women would not be complaining about men in the way they're complaining nowadays. And I've read many postings in the female dating strategies Reddit group, also known as FDS, and a lot of these women are just very, very angry and bitter in the same ways a lot of these guys in the red pill community, which is a community that was started by a group called MGTOW, Men Going Their Own Way. A lot of these guys are very angry and bitter. And these women in the FDS female dating strategies, subreddit on Reddit, are just like the female version of these angry and bitter men. So in a healthy dating market, you wouldn't have MGTOW and the red pill guys, projecting their insecurities all over the internet. In the same ways, you wouldn't have FDS female dating strategies, these women projecting their insecurities all over the internet, right? So let's get to this Reddit posting here and see what was said. This is from the Purple Pill Debate subreddit. Once again, one of my favorite subreddits on Reddit. And the original poster's title is FDS couldn't exist in a healthy dating market. Note to the unfamiliar, FDS refers to R/female dating strategy. Yes, I mentioned that. Most of us know that, but yeah, if you're new here, that's what it stands for. It seems like people here have an unfavorable view of FDS. Well, that's because it's a bunch of angry and bitter women that are projecting their insecurities in unreasonable ways against men. In the same ways that men in the red pill /MGTOW/manosphere community out here on YouTube and other forums are projecting their insecurities, onto women. Right? These are just angry and bitter men and women. It's just the female version of it, right? But shrug it off as the female equivalent of the red pill and move on. I just said that. Exactly. Bingo. 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 That's a mistake. No, it's not. No, it's not a mistake. It's the absolute truth. For all their bitterness and ruthless tactics, red pillars are at least acutely aware that you can't just demand. You need to bring at least as much value to the table as you expect in return. Well, that's true to a certain extent, sure. The same obviously can't be said for FDS. Well, why not? Why not? Women are working nowadays, they're independent, they can bring just as much, value financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, etc. You just have to find the right person. Like attracts like. Find the right person and you won't have these issues, right? But a lot of you guys are going after men and women just because they're hot and sexy and you're not properly vetting them to get to know their personalities. And then you're coming out here and saying stupid crap like this, right? I've yet to find a single post or comment on FDS about how to offer value that would entice a quality man. That's because these are the angry and bitter women of the world. It doesn't mean that all women are like this. The women on FDS are just a fraction of the women in this world. So you can't sit here and say that every single woman is angry, bitter, and jaded because some of them conglomerate on the female dating strategy forum. Just like you can't say every man is angry and bitter and jaded because you have a red pill community, a MGTOW community, and a manosphere community that's, being run by a bunch of these unmasculine men, right? In my opinion. There you go. But I have seen them discuss blocking and deleting men who propose a coffee date because it's too cheap. Freaking comical. Why would you go into a group of angry and bitter women and try to ask them out on the date in the first place? I mean, them blocking you is doing you a favor. Wow, that's pathetic. These guys would even try to go into that group and hit on the women there? I don't care about the sub's original purpose or what's in its handbook. This is how the users behave, and that's what's relevant. Ask yourself, what gives them the idea that they can demand so much of men and nothing of themselves? They're just angry and bitter women, just like there are angry and bitter men. This is, I believe, written by a man. Sir, you sound angry and bitter here, just like these women are angry and bitter. I mean, you're like two peas in the pod. Why haven't dating market forces forced a bit of honest self-reflection onto them? Why do you care? Why not just leave them alone? The more attention you pay them and you guys pay them, the more of what they want they get. They just want your attention and validation, and you're giving it to them. Why not ignore them? Don't give them any attention, and then they won't have anything to cry over, right? You guys just giving these women exactly what they want because you're the same way. You're angry and bitter just like they're angry and bitter. And it's just going to keep going back and forth, and both sides are going to keep spinning their wheels. That's all that's going to happen. And before you argue they're a fringe, the sub has, as of today, 223K subscribers. I'm subscribed to Female Dating Strategies, and I'm sure more than half the people there are normal, decent people that are just subscribing to see the train wreck. A lot of people do that. It's called drama. Now, I'm not into drama, but I subscribe to the FDS, forum because I want to learn more about what these women are doing and how they're behaving so I can share with the better men and women of this world how to avoid people like this. So who cares that they have 223K subscribers? Why do you care? And mainstream media articles written about them, which are generally a bit more supportive than critical. That's because they're women just like them writing these articles. Do you understand that, the people that are going to write positive articles about a subreddit like this, Female Dating Strategies, are either going to be from their, group, or they're going to have a similar agenda, or they're going to be, women that are just as angry and bitter as these women in the Female Dating Strategy, subreddit. Why do you care so much about what they're doing? Why not focus on yourself and focus on, dealing with women that are not angry and bitter like this? Why do you care so much? You like the attention? You like the drama? I know of no larger online community devoted to women's dating. There are other communities devoted to women's dating, and they're not as critical as Female Dating Strategies or the Female Dating Strategy group. You just have to look, man. Just because this is one of the biggest ones doesn't mean it's the only one. I'd be very curious if you can point me to a more active women's dating community that routinely discusses how they can do better at enticing men. Well, I'll tell you one thing they can do better to entice men is stop talking smack about men, stop trying to criticize men for being men, and be more submissive and be more sweet and loving and nurturing and respect men for the way men have always been. And as women, stop trying to be something you're not because the social stigma and the feminist agenda has taught you to flex your muscles, which is exuding more masculine energy, and that repels men instead of, entice them to want to be with you. That's what these women do in this group. They flex their muscles like men, right? They're women that are acting like men, and they think that they're going to attract men if they continue behaving that way. Come on. That's not going to happen. Otherwise, if you don't believe men's testimony that the current dating market is malfunctioning, then how do you explain the popularity of FDS along with the temperament of its members? Here's the thing, okay? The reason why it's popular is because anything that involves drama on the internet is going, or TV, is going to get more attention than anything else. Why? Because people come to see the train wreck. That's what they do. Even people that are not into the drama and are not angry, bitter, and jaded will come in to see the train wreck because that way they can talk about it and share their thoughts about it and maybe, help their more, positive, non-drama audience learn to avoid and stay away from groups like this. That's why they get a lot of attention. And you're giving them more attention by writing this, right? And maybe I'm giving a little more attention by talking about this, but I'm actually talking about this in a more constructive way and in a more positive way, saying that, hey, what they're doing there, yeah, it's their right to do so, but it's not helping their cause if they want to find a good man. They're more so, displaying anger and bitterness and being jaded, and that's not going to, attract men at all. Let's see what was said in some of the comment section, or in the comment section, which is what I'm trying to say. The reason FDS is popular is because it is the bad bitch sub where women get to flex themselves, put men down. That's true. They're women that are acting like men. They're angry and bitter because they don't love themselves, right? Because they have some unresolved issues, and men won't give them the time of day because they have issues, so they come and project that into this group. That's all it is. I even fit into their HVM category. I have everything they want, and yet I would likely not date someone like that. Good for you, because these women expect men to be perfect, and there's no such thing, right? And they're controlling and demeaning, right? And they will emasculate you. That's what they will do. They will try to revoke your masculinity, making you feel like masculinity is toxic, which is not. They do that because they want to be the superior one in the relationship. And quite frankly, when the woman is perceived to be the more masculine one in a heterosexual relationship, it never works out, because that's basically a woman acting like a man, and then she's with a man that's acting like a woman. The sexual polarity is flipped, and it just doesn't make any sense. It won't work out. Okay? Especially that BS around high investment on first dates. They're dangerous because you lose a lot financially and mentally over someone you're not even sure about. That's why when you go on a first or second date with a woman, until you're intimate with a woman, don't spend a dime on her. Don't spend a freaking dime on her until you're intimate with her, or at least have made out or something, right? Never take a woman out, the first time that you meet her, to a nice restaurant or something. Okay? You need to meet, take a walk, take a hike, meet at a supermarket or mall parking lot in the early evening, and maybe walk around the mall or sit in your car and just talk and see if there's chemistry before you invest a dime, right? And if women are not willing to meet you, in a way that's not going to cost you any money, like I just mentioned, then they're just trying to get a free meal out of you, and they're not the right woman. The right woman, if she's really into you, will meet you, and do something that doesn't involve spending money initially to see if the chemistry is there. And then when the chemistry is there, if it's there and you're intimate and you make out and it's going to move forward, then you can go to dinners and do all that stuff that couples do. Okay? But yeah, these women are complaining that men don't want to take them out and spend money and stuff. It's because we want to be sure that you're into us for the right reason, and we're not gonna know that until there's some intimacy happening, right? But you ladies want us to spend our money first before you even decide if you want to be intimate with us. No, it doesn't work like that. Sorry. Men mate by acquiring and then offering value. Hence, self-improvement becomes the goal. Those who work on it can improve themselves and improve masculine energy and their odds. They can play or go MGTOW. Well, I would suggest not going MGTOW, because then you're withdrawing, and I don't think any man on the planet, wants to withdraw from intimacy and romance with a woman for the rest of their life. There are some guys that are called MGTOW monks, and yeah, maybe they have become celibate and given up, but that's very few guys, and it's not a healthy way to live your life. There are good women out there too. You just have to learn how to properly vet them, and before you invest financially into them, you got to do things that won't cost you any money to see if the chemistry is there, and then you can invest afterwards. If they don't improve and just rant and expect to be entitled, then they head towards incel territory. Incels, involuntary celibate. All of the above are shades of gray, so it depends on the mix. It depends on the two people, and everybody is different, right? You got to properly vet people. You got to get to know people. You got to ask questions and see how the other side responds. Females mate by demanding and extracting value by offering nature-imparted stock. If self-entitled becomes their delusion, then heads to FDS and femcel territory. I don't really like what this person is writing here. You see, all these people speak in fancy, lingo, and it's just people that are angry and bitter, right? I'm not even going to read any more of that response because that's just not working for me. Fundamentally, FDS is leveraging social legitimacy value to the hilt, and this actually works if the society in question is superficially liberal, modern, progressive, but deeply tradcon under the hood, which also happens to describe much of the U.S. and, ironically enough, a good chunk of the Sino-Bolsheviks, but that's not really relevant on this subreddit. See, this is another thing I can't stand. You guys sit here and say this is a superficially liberal, modern, progressive, but deeply tradcon under the hood, which also happens to describe much of the U.S. and, ironically enough, a good chunk of the Sino. Dude, why all this terminology? This is BS, this is crap, right? Right? Yeah, political views and stuff like that have something to do with chemistry. But the bottom line is this. It all boils down to this between men and women. Like attracts like. Okay? If you're more on the left, you're going to be more compatible with somebody that's more on the left. If you're more on the right, you're going to be more compatible with someone that's more on the right. You need to have similar morals, values, and ethics, and your political beliefs are a part of that as well. You don't need to sit here and go liberal, modern, progressive. Listen, we are in a progressive world any way you want to look at it. A lot of people are saying that being progressive is not a good thing. If we weren't progressing, we wouldn't have these damn smartphones and the technology we have nowadays. Now, I also know progression in other ways to many people can be kind of strange. I think there are some things that are progressing in a strange way, but at the same time, oh, I thought I heard something. At the same time, you have different what do you call it? Genders nowadays. You have gender non-conforming, you have non-binary, you have non-binary, gender non-conforming is what it's called. And here in California where I live, non-binary is an option on your driver's license now. Is that considered progressive? Yes. Am I somebody that is anti these types of people? No. I think people should be allowed to live their life any way they want to live. If you're a man or a woman and you don't want to identify as a man or a woman, you want to be referred to as they or them or it or that, okay, that's up to you. Do I personally think it's a little bit weird? Sure. But it's not my place to tell you how to live your life or what to live your life as. That is absolutely up to you. But yeah, in my opinion, if I'm entitled to, which I am, I think it's a little bit strange, right? But we don't need to sit here and use all this crazy terminology. Like, this is just ridiculous. Like attracts like. That's the bottom line. Focus on, if you're a man looking for a good woman or a woman looking for a good man, focus on finding someone of the opposite sex that's like-minded, has similar morals, values, and ethics, similar, political views. They don't have to be exactly alike, but, it'd be better, if you're more alike than not. That's just the bottom line right there. The original poster makes a comment at this point and says, "Not sure exactly what you mean by this. Could you elaborate?" All right, we're going to read one more here. It's pretty long, and then we're going to wrap this up. It means it only works when both the pros of when both the pros of traditionalism and liberalism exist. There we go again. You're looking at liberalism and traditionalism and all of that. Okay. It banks on a system that believes men are objects that exist to serve women, but not the opposite. That women are humans that are accepted for who they are, but men are not. Look, you guys keep talking about this stuff, and it's stupid and ridiculous, okay? Women have been liberated. Women now have equal rights. From an equal rights standpoint, women can now do everything that once only men could do. Okay? But at the same time, men and women are still biologically different, right? We've always been biologically different, and we will always be biologically different. Okay? And just because, women nowadays, do not want to be just housewives and be barefoot pregnant in the kitchen doesn't mean that with the right partner, they wouldn't be willing to share in the responsibility of the household, right? I'm the type of guy that's very well domesticated, and I actually love taking care of my place, keeping it clean, and doing all the stuff that was once only known as things that women would do. But if I was going to live with a woman, and I have lived with a woman in the past, if I was going to live with a woman again, we would be sharing in the household responsibilities. We'd both be making the bed, we'd be taking turns, we both would be doing laundry, we both would be mopping floors, sweeping floors, vacuuming, cooking, and doing other stuff. Right? We would be sharing in the responsibilities, and we would respect each other as man and woman, and we would be a team working together. And it wouldn't be me, man, saying, woman, stay at home and take care of everything and I'll go and work, right? No, we could both work, but we could also balance our work and personal life to take care of things at home and to also have time for each other. That's the way to look at it. You guys, with all these fancy terms and stuff, you're wasting more time writing fancy verbiage that really is stupid and pathetic rather than making it simple like I just did. So men have to be traditional and live for women. No, they don't. But some traditional values are better than the crap that we're dealing with nowadays. I have a lot of traditional morals, values, and ethics is what I'm trying to say. But it doesn't mean that I'm completely traditional. I'm open to some modern things, and some things I feel are better left the traditional ways. It just depends what makes the best sense for what we're dealing with nowadays, how we're living nowadays. But what women want: confident, dominant provider. You are disposable. No help systems, dependent on giving value to get intimacy, and that you are not entitled to anything. Man up. You are not owed sex, intimacy, acceptance. You guys are just used to dealing with angry, bitter, and jaded women. Not all women are like that, even though a lot of you guys say all women are like that, right? Not all women are like that. So when you come across women like that, with an attitude like that, you give them the gift of missing you. You ignore them, and you only focus on women that respect and appreciate you for the man you are. That way you don't have to come out here on Reddit and spew all this crap that all these angry and bitter, and jaded red pill, MGTOW, manosphere men have been doing all over YouTube and Reddit and the internet. It's pathetic. It's a waste of your time. While women are free and are to be accepted for who they are, they do not have to be what men want: meek, submissive, and stay-at-home wife. Well, they don't have to be that way, but you can also choose to not be with women like that. There are women that are that way naturally. You just have to be patient and properly vet them and get to know them. You've just come across a bunch of these women, and you're letting them ruin your perception of all women. Not all women are like that. They're not. A lot of them are nowadays, but you can just ignore them and move on and focus on the ones that aren't like that. They do not have to give or do anything to be accepted. Welfare mostly for women, acceptance of women, children, single motherhood, and that they are owed what they want. Yeah, dude, I've heard all these stories, and quite frankly, not all women are like this. Are there, enough women that are taking advantage of the system in this way and making a little bit of noise on the internet to get your attention, to get you to react this way? Yeah, but most women are not like this, dude. I'm so tired of hearing this crap. I dealt with this crap for so many years out here on YouTube. My first 2 years of running my coaching business, I've been doing this for 5 years. My first 2 years of doing this is all the crap I dealt with people like this on YouTube live stream panels. And it was a really, really big shit show and a waste of time. And it was just pathetic. I really wish these guys would just let this crap go and become better men and just ignore women like this and, focus on the better women. Properly vet them, get to know them, and give the good ones a chance and ignore the ones like the ones you're talking about here in this comment. So FDS is all about filtering out men they do not want. Don't you filter out women you don't want? If they want to filter out men that they don't want, no matter how angry, bitter, and jaded they are, that's fine. They can filter you out and do you a favor, right? What's the problem with that? You filter out women too, right? Both men and women filter out partners they don't desire. So what's the problem, right? Or do we just like to come out here on Reddit and YouTube and social media and just stir up the drama pot because that's the only way we can get attention, is stirring up drama, right? Is that what it's all about? So once again, so this is all about filtering out men they do not want, shaming men who are not useful or not at maximum usefulness, and especially if they refuse to be and getting angry that they are not getting what they are rightfully entitled to. Well, dude, why do you care about what these women want? Why not just ignore them? Why do you feel the need to talk about it and feed into it? I'm only talking about it because I think it's more pathetic that you guys are angry and bitter and trying to retaliate at these women rather than ignoring them. By you doing this, you're giving them more of what they want and basically making their cause, stronger and making your cause as men weaker. Come on, guys. And that's where I'm going to wrap it up. I could go on for days. There's 810 comments on this posting. I could literally do 100-part miniseries on this posting alone. But I would tell you, I will tell you is what I'm trying to say, it would drive me insane. Because it'd be the same repetitive crap over and over again between these angry and bitter women and these angry and bitter men that just can't ignore each other and focus on more positive men and women that would make them happier. That is the bottom line. Simple, period, end of story. And that's where I'm going to wrap up this video here today. Man, I want to thank you all for taking the time to view this video. Another video is coming to this channel soon. Please like, share, subscribe, bang the bell, select all notifications. Have the best night's sleep possible. Take care. Have a good one. And as always, be good to each other. Bye-bye.